वेरी वार्म वेलकम एंड बहुत ही स्वागत है वॉइस ऑफ इंडिया वर्ल्ड के दर्शकों का दिस प्रोग्राम फ्रॉम रूट्स टू रूट्स। यहाँ हम बात करते हैं वो बड़े लोगों की शख्सियतों की, बिग पर्सनैलिटीज हु हैव मेड इट बिग इन फॉरेन लैंड। एंड टुडे वी आर जॉइंड बाय मिस्टर पंकज अग्रवाल हु हैड गॉन फ्रॉम इंडिया एंड ही इज अ बिग मैन। बड़ी हस्ती हैं, यूरोप में दावोस के फ्रीक्वेंट जाती हैं और बहुत सी चीजें की हैं इन्होंने। यही बताएंगे अब हमारे को पंकज जी। अपने बारे में सबसे पहले एक ब्रीफ आप बताइए, संक्षिप्त में बताइए पंकज जी। आप पहले तो अभी क्या करते हैं और अपनी जर्नी के बारे में बताइए। हाउ डिड यू गो फ्रॉम इंडिया एंड मेड सच अ बिग नेम एंड यू वेंट टू अ प्लेस जिसके बारे में लोग ज्यादा बहुत नहीं जानते हैं।
Well, Sumit, firstly, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm really, really grateful and very happy to speak. नमस्कार सबको। वदूज लिechtenstein से, आपने पता नहीं लिechtenstein का नाम सुना है कि नहीं। आई एम बेस्ड हियर इन लिechtenstein। मेरी जर्नी, मैं एक्चुअली हूँ तो यूपी से, लेकिन born and brought up in Calcutta। उसके बाद I did my undergraduate from IIT Kanpur in chemical engineering। From there, I went to United States for my PhD, and मेरे को 95 में came to Switzerland in Europe to work as a research scientist। और मेरे को अभी 30 साल हो गए अभी यूरोप में। मेरा जो मेन बिजनेस है, my passion has always been in green energy, clean tech। So first half of my career was really working as a research scientist। I've been doing clean tech since, for my PhDs in the 80s, before it became very fashionable. And last 20 years, I brought my passion to India. India has always been my passion. So then I thought ki I have to give something back to the country, bring cutting edge technologies from Europe to India, not only as bringing something to India, but also huge business opportunity. I saw a big business opportunity um, in this sector in India. So in 2006, I started doing some work bringing cutting edge technologies to India.
तो अपनी जर्नी आप कुछ ऐसे बताइए बातें जो आपको मेमोरेबल हैं। आप किस साल में यूरोप आए और फिर आप अमेरिका पढ़ने गए? तो किस साल में आप भारत से निकले और उस वक्त आपकी थिंकिंग क्या थी? और क्या कुछ कहते हैं हम ओवरऑल कंडीशंस होती हैं जो लेके जाती हैं, या आपका हमेशा से एम था कि हमें जाना है?
That's a very good question. तो आईआईटी कानपुर में, आईआईटी से उस समय आपको मालूम होगा 80s में तो करीब करीब आधे से ज्यादा लोग बाहर चले जाते थे। तो मैंने जब अपनी अंडर ग्रेजुएट खत्म करी तो मेरा ये था कि बाहर जाना है। आई वॉज नॉट श्योर। आगे कुछ पढ़ना है, आई वॉज श्योर। तो मैंने अपनी अंडर ग्रेजुएट के बाद सोचा कि थोड़ा पहले इंडिया में काम करते हैं, जॉब करते हैं, देखते हैं, डिसाइड करते हैं कि आगे क्या पढ़ना है। और फिर 89 में एक साल जॉब किया। उसके बाद मैंने डिसाइड किया इंडिया से बाहर जाऊंगा। जब मैंने सोचा जाने के लिए, मास्टर्स पीएचडी के लिए जाने के लिए, माय आइडिया वाज ऑलवेज टू कम बैक टू इंडिया। मैं इसलिए नहीं जा आई डिडंट वांट टू गो कि मैंने इंडिया छोड़ना है। आई थॉट कि ठीक है, एक्सप्लोर द वर्ल्ड अ बिट, देन वील सी वेयर द जर्नी टेक्स। दैट्स द रीजन आई लेफ्ट। और उसके बाद circumstances such that I ended up staying there, but I stayed there physically, but emotionally, mentally, I've always been in India, coming regularly to India. And last 20 years as a business person, my focus has been India, coming on a very, very regularly to India.
तो कुछ बातें आपसे पंकज जी करते हैं। सम थिंग्स वी विल स्पीक टू यू नाउ। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, जब आप बाहर आते हैं, कुछ बातें आपने अगर लाइफ की जर्नी की बात करें तो हाउ डू डिफाइन योर जर्नी? आपको लगता है कि आप इससे कुछ अलग हट के कर सकते थे, या यही आपकी किस्मत में लिखा था और यही होना था?
देखिए, मैं किस्मत में तो विश्वास नहीं करता हूँ। आई बिलीव इन whatever you want to do yourself. Always was my passion was always to explore new things, bring new ideas, and then yeah. And so जब मैंने इंडिया, जैसे मैंने पहले बोला, इंडिया मैंने इसलिए नहीं छोड़ा कि मेरे को इंडिया छोड़ना है। मैंने इसलिए मैं बाहर गया कुछ एक्सप्लोर करने के लिए, आगे देखने के लिए। आई हैव ऑलवेज बीन वेरी क्यूरियस। And then and also to bring something back, contribute something to the country, and then of course as a businessman try to see how we can take this as an opportunity which is a win-win for everybody. तो ये सोच के मैं बाहर गया। इसी सोच से my life has journey has been like this. It has taken me to different places. So इंडिया से मैं पहले अमेरिका गया, अमेरिका से मैं स्विट्जरलैंड आया, फ्रेंच पार्ट ऑफ स्विट्जरलैंड। उसके बाद मैं हॉलैंड गया, हॉलैंड से फिर मैं जूरिक आया, जूरिक से फिर मैं म्यूनिक गया, और करीब 15 साल हो गए, 15 साल से मैं अब लिechtenstein में हूँ. तो या दैट हैज बीन माई जर्नी, एक्साइटिंग जर्नी. लेकिन इंडिया हैज ऑलवेज बीन सॉर्ट ऑफ माई रेडार देयर, माई गाइडिंग फोर्स.
Okay, tell us the viewers, some viewers about Vaduz, where you are now based. Tell us something about the city, your routine. We would like to know your personal beliefs and systems also, and bit about Vaduz, where you are now currently.
Yeah. So Vaduz, yeah, it's, for those who don't know, so Liechtenstein, the country where I live, it's a very small country of 40,000 people, and Vaduz is the capital of Liechtenstein. So, I grew up in Calcutta, 40,000. It was almost like a small colony in Calcutta, but it's a beautiful place up in the mountains. It's a principality, it's a constitutional monarchy, very high quality of life. जिन्होंने वदुस के बारे में सुना है, they know it as a banking location, but what people don't know is actually a very, very industrial location as well. Very innovative, a lot of innovation is here. And that has again also been what attracted me to this country. The fact that high quality of life, lot of innovation, small country, good quality in terms of good air, good water, etc., etc. But at the same time, yeah, people are quite well off, and it's a nice country to live in. And I would invite everybody to come and visit once if you are in the region.
So, how have you seen India changing over the years now? And as we talk about India, always optimism. So, do you believe in India's optimistic and growth story? And what do you think India and how it has changed over the last few years?
Yeah, it's of course, in India has yeah, changed both for very good, and of course there have been some changes which are maybe not that good, in the sense that of course the growth story in the last years has been incredible. Right? I think when I left India in the late 80s as an engineer, the opportunities were very limited. As an entrepreneur as well, opportunities were very limited. And now today, when I go back to India, it's an exciting place to be as a business, right? Liechtenstein, where I live, is a quiet, sleepy place, and I need the energy of India to give me, get me going. I think has been extremely positive. I think where I see some changes which which I'm not very happy about, but I'm trying to do something about, is that the quality of the air has deteriorated. Quality of the water and those kind of things have deteriorated, and I'd like, but India has all the opportunities, and hopefully what I see here in Switzerland, this region, we can bring some of that quality of air, water, these things back to India. And that is and we have all the wherewithals, both the intellectual capital and the resources to make that happen.
And it's a journey for you, been a successful one, very successful one journey for you. What are the moments, कुछ लम्हे हमारे साथ रह जाते हैं जो हम हमेशा सोचते हैं कि ये कुछ जब होंगे तो बताएंगे, कुछ लम्हे आपकी जर्नी से जुड़े हुए, कुछ खास पड़ाव, some milestones in your journey?
Oh, life, of course. These are there's so many things, that has happened. I think um, getting into, of course, a premier institution like IIT was an important moment for me. Uh, then graduating from there was a very important moment for me. Uh, then, in terms of my career, uh, my scientific work, the work I did, some of the things I did was very important. But I would say, uh, as a professional, one of my biggest moment was that when I listed my first company on London Stock Exchange. That was a very important moment for me, I would say. As an entrepreneur, it's always a dream to list your company, and I did that in 2009 during the time of financial crisis. That was quite an important moment for me professionally, of course. And yeah, and personally, it has been a very enriching journey as well for me in terms of discovering different places and trying to give back something to the country.
पंकज जी, if we talk about आप देखते हैं इंडिया को आज भी, इतने करोड़ों लोग हैं, बेरोजगार हैं, कुछ लोग बेरोजगारी से, कुछ लोग ड्रीम से बाहर जाना चाहते हैं। आपको कुछ कहना है उन्हें, एनी मोमेंट, एनीथिंग यू हैव टू टेल देम that this is something, any message you have to give, tell them that first they should prepare and then go, should not take shortcuts to go abroad. Going abroad is a very valid dream, but there shouldn't be any shortcuts.
Yeah, see, firstly, grass always looks greener on the other side, right? So of course, I think India is. I live abroad, uh, but at the same time, I always keep coming back, right? Uh, I think when you look at the opportunities today, India has so much opportunity to offer. As an entrepreneur, I think the amount of opportunity that is in India, you can't imagine in anywhere in Europe, anywhere else. I think India is growing at such a rapid rate, right? So I would suggest if anybody wants to go abroad, you should definitely go abroad to learn, not because you want to escape India, but really to go, learn, explore, and then decide for yourself. The world has become now such that you can, somebody like me, I live in Europe, but I spend half my time in India as well, right? So the world has become very very small with internet, with all the possibilities there are. So I think, yeah, I would suggest that you should definitely go learn, and then yeah, and they're good and bad. There's a lot of India has a lot of things to offer, and so does the West. And the combination of the two also makes it very exciting, actually.
So, for Pankaj, for thousands of our viewers who are watching, and I would like to you to tell them some rules you always live by, some principles you always live by. As we know, a great man is always made by principles and discipline. So, what are those principles? वो क्या principles हैं जो आप हमेशा अपना अपना हमेशा follow करते हैं?
See, one of the main principles which I always follow is be true to yourself. Believe in yourself, be true to yourself. And I think is really very, very fundamental principle. And if you do that, then I think, yeah. So that's something that always follow. Believe in yourself, and yeah, and follow your passion, and don't give up. And I think that is really the key, I'd say.
Pankaj, many times those people who have gone abroad and they want to do something for India, sometimes they criticize also. They are criticized, in fact. उनको बहुत बार criticize किया जाता है कि वहां पे रह के बात करना बहुत आसान है, यहाँ पे आके करके देखिए। सो क्या मौका मिलेगा तो आप यहाँ पे आके करके देखेंगे कुछ ऐसा कुछ करने का और रहने का मिला तो?
Yeah, yeah, that's again, yeah, it's always right कि भाई बाहर से बैठ के भाषण दे रहे हैं. I also don't like it, right? So that is the reason the path I have taken is that, for example, as I mentioned, what bothers me is the quality of air. What am I doing about it? I'm trying to bring cutting edge technologies so I can reduce that. So good, and plus किसी को अगर क्रिटिसाइज करते हैं अपने को ही क्रिटिसाइज कर सकते हैं, राइट? So I take it as, because when I criticize India or criticize wherever what I do, because I feel that it's my own country, and that's why I feel that I have the right to talk about both the good and the bad. I think nobody is perfect. No country is perfect. I've lived in so many places. Every country, every place has its good points, has its bad points. I think one has to, and that's also makes it each country very special as well, right? So I think, yeah, I think you should not ignore the faults of a place, but just criticizing for the sake of criticizing also doesn't help, right? Any criticism should be constructive, should come with some solution as well.
What is one thing you miss the most about India? आप मिस करते हो और आपको लगता है वो फटाफट हो जानी चाहिए, जो आज तक आप मिस करते हैं इंडिया में?
I think what I miss about India, and as I come also, is the warmth of the people, right? You go to India, आप कहीं भी जाते हैं, people are so warm, helpful, कोई वो नहीं है, formality type नहीं है, they are really, there's certain closeness that is there. There's certain, yeah, it's very difficult to describe, but I think in Europe, people are a bit more distant, people are a bit more formal. In India, it doesn't matter who you are. People are, we are warm. They take you as your own. I think that's something which I really, really miss a lot about India.
Let's talk about your business. As we understand, you are in big into renewable energy. आप नोएडा में जो एयरपोर्ट आ रहा है उससे भी जुड़े हैं खास तौर पर. So ऐसा कुछ बताइए अपने बारे में, अपने बिजनेस के बारे में. अब क्या नया करने जा रहे हैं? फ्यूचर हाउ डज इट लुक लाइक?
Yeah. So see, again, as I mentioned before, I've been doing clean tech since long, long time before it became very fashionable. And my principle has always been India, of course, is a big country, uh, but India is again, it's not a very, very developed country. It's not a very, very rich country. Of course, we are getting there, right? So everything has to be driven by economics, right? So when I looked at clean tech, it has always been not doing that, not because I want to make, the air green and world green, all that. But for me, the principle had always been, is it financially viable? And green is a byproduct. And if you do that, that makes the business very sustainable. So that has been the guiding principle for me. Now, what we are trying to do and what we are doing is uh, India, of course, opportunity is very big, right? Europe, where I live, has been when it comes to sustainability, always has been the leader. That lead has been because of innovation here, right? So what we are trying to do, what my company does, is that we are trying to bring cutting edge innovation, not only product, but really solutions to India, Indianize them, and then see how we could also bring them back to Europe. So that has been sort of my mantra all the time. Bring new stuff to India, scale it up, and bring it back. In terms of the new trends, what we always try to do is try to be a bit step ahead of the game. I think that is quite important. India wants to become developed by 47, Viksit Bharat. To have that, we have to embrace innovation. And innovation, what does that mean? It means not taking shortcuts. It means doing things properly well. Does not mean, of course, कि जो यूरोप में काम करेगा वो इंडिया में भी काम करेगा, but taking it, Indianizing it from the Indian way, but without taking any shortcuts. I think that is something that we have been trying to do, introduce. And if you do that, then there is so much room for technology. So Noida Airport में के बारे में आपने बोला. So Noida Airport is a very good example. It's an airport which I think will be very soon one of the most important airports, not only of Asia, probably of the world, right? And Zurich Airport, which is building that airport, it's basically the jewel in their portfolio. And their vision has been to make this airport uh, bring all innovation in there, make it the first net zero airport. And we have worked very closely together with them to bring some very cutting edge technology, for example, smart lighting, smart street lighting solutions into the airport. And these are the kind of things that the scale at which we can do in India is unimaginable in places in Europe, where I live right now.
पंकज जी, बिफोर वी लेट यू गो वी वुड लाइक टू आस्क यू फ्यू फाइनल क्वेश्चंस. एंड हमेशा व्यूअर्स इंटरेस्टेड होते हैं फैमिली के बारे में, फैमिली कैसी है. बट आप अगर सोचते हैं जब यूरोप में इतने इंडियंस रहते हैं, अब तो बहुत से इंडियंस आ गए हैं, क्या वो एक हमें अपने कल्चर से कट के रह रहे हैं या कहीं वो अपने रूट्स टू रूट से जुड़े हैं, आज भी अपने कल्चर को पास ऑन कर रहे हैं, अपनी जो पीढ़ी है, नई पीढ़ी, उसको अपना जो यूएसपी है बता रहे हैं? हाउ डू यू सी द इंडियंस दैट लिव इन यूरोप? डिफरेंट कल्चर है, पूरा डिफरेंट लैंग्वेज है, तो कैसे वो अपने लैंग्वेज और कल्चर को पास ऑन कर रहे हैं अपनी आने वाली पीढ़ी के लिए?
Yeah, one thing about India which is very special is that we really embrace new cultures very easily. That has been also the big strength of the country, right? जब मैं बात करता हूँ ये लोगों यहाँ पर यूरोपियन से, that is something they really appreciate about India. Because culturally, we are very close. We are very flexible. We are very accepting. That is also, part of our
That's Hinduism
psyche,
also.
right?
Hinduism, the way we are brought up, it's very
Yeah,
India.
exactly. That is part of part of our the way we are brought up, right? So I, for example, my wife actually is from Liechtenstein. My wife is European, right? But at home, we cook Indian food, but we also cook European food, right? I came to Liechtenstein 15 years ago, and I missed a bit Indian culture. So I decided ki, okay, I will bring some culture here. So I started an India club here in Liechtenstein
Oh,
10
that's
years
interesting.
ago.
Okay.
And the members of the club, interestingly enough, most of the members are non-Indians.
Hmm.
Most of the members are Europeans who have certain interest in India. And so we bring a bit of culture from India to here, and we try to bring some of the Liechtenstein culture back to India as well. And that has been also, my philosophy, and that's what we have been trying to do here. And people are very accepting to that. Every year we organize, yoga weeks here. We do Indian classical concerts. We do film festivals and things like that. And there's a lot of appreciation of that. And that I think is really, and I think for business also, I think, see, the business I am in, which is in technology transfer, a lot of that is also about cultural bridging, right? If you can, and from that perspective, I think India and Europe has a huge opportunity.
Great, great. हमने सब सवाल पूछे आपसे पंकज जी. It was very good talking to you. Anything special you want to share with thousands of viewers? जो कुछ आप ऐसा शेयर करना चाहते हैं, एक मौका आपके लिए.
uh, I would, I would invite people to come to Liechtenstein, come and visit. Beautiful country, come and visit, and then see how innovation and beauty and engineering and everything can live together. There's a lot to learn from this region, and also a lot to give to this region as well, because Indian culture also has a lot to contribute here. So that's what I would say. Come, visit, explore the world, explore the country. Yeah.
वेल थैंक यू पंकज जी. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बातचीत करने के लिए. आज हमारे साथ अपनी जो एक्सपीरियंस है साझा करने के लिए. पंकज अग्रवाल जी से बात कर रहे थे, वेस्टर्न यूपी से बाहर गए ऐसी जगह पे वादूज में जहाँ बहुत कम इंडियंस आते हैं. मैं बहुत बार मिला हूँ दावोस में, पर मुझे पहली बार लगा कि आप सबके आगे भी रूट्स टू रूट्स का जो ये एपिसोड है इनको डेडिकेट करना चाहिए. काफी सीखने की बातें मिली, और धन्यवाद वंस अगेन. थैंक यू पंकज अग्रवाल जी
Yeah.
फॉर टॉकिंग टू वॉइस ऑफ इंडिया
Thank,
वर्ल्ड
yeah.
एंड रूट्स टू रूट्स. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Sumit. One thing, by the way, just one last comment I forgot. I've been living in, I left India in 1989 because 35 saal ho gaye. I've still kept my Indian passport.
Oh, that's a
And the
big
reason for
thing.
that has been always not because I'm very nationalistic about the country. I feel Indian, right? If I ask, where are you from? I've lived in so many countries, but that Indianness says, so for me, that's the only passport I can relate to. So yeah, that's my last sort of thought. But thanks again for the conversation. Thank you. And yeah, hope to see you again sometime.
वेल थैंक यू पंकज जी. एंड आपसे भी रिक्वेस्ट है, सब व्यूअर से रिक्वेस्ट है हमारा, फॉलो आवर यूट्यूब चैनल वॉइस ऑफ VOI वर्ल्ड. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the places, because that's where we will be always bringing you all these inspiring stories of the Indians who have become so big outside, but still so close to their roots. So that's why the program's name is overall Roots to Roots. And Mr. Pankaj Agarwal, we heard from him, his journey of Roots to Roots. Thank you once again, Pankaj ji, for joining us.
Thank you.